Queen Chudala is at her husband's hermitage in the forest. Her husband is King Sikhidhvaja. She's taken the form of a brahmana called Kumbha in order to teach her husband about self-inquiry. Her husband's been devoted to the ascetic lifestyle, and it's not led to anything except frustration and sorrow. Sikhidhvaja said, "Aha, I have truly been awakened by you, O sage. I am freed of foolishness. You are my guru. I am your disciple. Pray instruct me in what you know, knowing which one does not grieve." The brahmana, Chudala, replied, "O royal sage, I shall instruct you if you are in a receptive mood and cherish my words. If one playfully instructs another merely in answer to a query, when the latter does not intend to receive, cherish and assimilate the teaching, it becomes fruitless." There's no point in talking about this in a casual way, just to satisfy somebody's mild curiosity. After receiving such an assurance from Sikhidhvaja, Chudala said, "Listen attentively. I shall narrate to you a story which resembles yours." The brahmana, Chudala, said, "There was a man in whom there was the almost impossible combination of wealth and wisdom. He was endowed with all excellences. He was clever in his dealings, he achieved all his ambitions, but he was unaware of the self. He began to engage himself in austerities with the desire of acquiring the celestial jewel known as chintamani, the philosopher's stone, which is supposed to be capable of fulfilling all the desires of its possessor. This is the wish-fulfilling gem. His effort was intense, so within a very short period of time this jewel appeared before him. Indeed, what is impossible for one who strives his utmost, one who applies himself to the task he's undertaken, unmindful of the effort and the difficulties, reaches the desired end, even if he is poor." So, this person is set out with an ambition, spiritual ambition, to acquire the celestial jewel, and within a short time achieves it. However, this man saw the jewel in front of him within his easy reach, but he was unable to reach any certainty concerning it. He began to muse with a mind confused by prolonged striving and suffering. Is this the chintamani, or is it not? Shall I touch it or not? Perhaps it will disappear if I touch it. Surely it cannot be obtained within so short a period of time. The scriptures say that it can only be obtained after a whole lifetime of striving. Surely because I am a poverty-stricken, greedy man, I am merely hallucinating the existence of this jewel before me. How could I be so lucky as to get it so soon? There may be some great ones who might obtain this jewel within a short time, but I am an ordinary person, with just a little austerity to my credit. How is it possible for me to get this so soon?" What we've got here is a contrast between stories and reality. We've got the stories of reality, but they're stories, and reality has got a life of its own. And what this poor man is doing now is trying to reconcile reality with all the stories that he's heard. Rather than embrace this reality, but embrace the reality that's been presented to him, he's letting all the stories get in the way. And this is a very profound situation. It's what actually hampers our own realization. Thus confused in his mind, he did not make any effort to take the jewel. He was not destined to get it. One gets only what he deserves when he deserves it. Even if the celestial jewel stands in front of him, the fool ignores it. The jewel thus ignored disappeared. Psychic attainments, siddhis, bestow everything on one whom they seek. After having destroyed his wisdom, they go away. People love the stories of siddhis. If I put a siddhi in the tagline of my video, I usually get more hits for that video. Supernormal powers. Somebody's been promising to demonstrate them to me, but I haven't heard from this person since. And you know, even if they exist, do they bring wisdom? Do they bring joy? It's just like having the latest gadget, the latest iPhone or whatever. Gee whiz, great, love it. But then what? Then what? Are you fulfilled? Does your iPhone or whatever bring you complete fulfillment? Yes, I have my iPhone. My life's purpose has been achieved. I can now rest in peace. I can coast through the rest of my life on a cloud of bliss. So that's it for siddhis. That will get me a few hits for this video. Siddhis. And then I'll be happy with all my hits. So anyway, if you pursue your siddhis, if you get your supernormal powers, I hope that makes you happy. But it looks like you're going to have your wisdom destroyed. And the man engaged himself further in austerities for the attainment of the chintamani. So off he went again. Actually, I'm reminded of the Christian story of the Messiah. Christian and Jewish story. The Jews await their Messiah. So what happens when he turns up? They crucify him. Of course, that's assuming Jesus was the Messiah. And even if he wasn't the Messiah, it seems a bit harsh to want to have him crucified or to attack him the way they did. The trouble was they had their notions about what the Messiah was like, and a teacher teaching love and forgiveness obviously didn't fit in with that notion. So they carry on waiting. And the man engaged himself further in austerities for the attainment of the chintamani. The industrious do not abandon their undertaking. After some time he saw a glass piece thrown playfully in front of him by the celestials. That was naughty of them. He thought it was a chintamani. Thus deluded, he greedily picked it up. Confident that he could get whatever he sought with its help, he gave up all his wealth, family, etc., and went away to a forest. On account of his foolishness, he suffered there. Great calamities, old age, and death are nothing in comparison to the suffering caused by foolishness. In fact, foolishness adorns the head of all sufferings and calamities. So this is a story worth dwelling on, isn't it? And we'll hear more about this story later on, after we've had another story.